Welcome, race fans, to another round of some of the best GT racing anywhere in the virtual world. The next stop for the North American Grand Prix Thursday Night GT League is Italy, as the series moves to the high-speed and historic Autodromo Nazionale Monza for round 6 of the championship this evening. Aaron Parsons snatched his first career NAGP Assetto Corsa GT victory last week at Spa and moved into a tie for the championship lead in the process. Parsons, who qualified just 0.02 of a second behind pole sitter Salem Montgomery Jr., overtook John Ludden on lap 6 after Ludden managed to jump out to an early lead in the race. Parsons never relinquished the lead after that, setting a blistering pace that his rivals were unable to match. If you guys were watching this show last week, you'll know exactly what I was talking about. Parsons took the checkered flag 6 seconds ahead of Ludden in second. The final podium position came down to the wire between David Poole and Chris Moses and Luis Fermin and Walters, all within a few seconds of each other for much of the 36-lap event. Poole ultimately finished third with less than 3 seconds separating positions 3rd through 6th. That was an amazing finish. I know that I enjoyed it. 5 drivers right now, they're solidly in contention for the Drivers' Championship. The second half of the season 27 is shaping up to be an exciting finish. It all begins tonight, so you don't want to miss it. After 5 rounds, Parsons and Ludden are tied for the top spot in the Drivers' Championship with 81 points each. Chris Moses second, 1 point behind, and David Poole is third, 4 points back. So guys, it's shaping up to be one heck of a driver championship race for season 27. In the team championship, Precision Motor Racing's Chris Moses and Aaron Parsons have a dominating lead over the rest of the teams. The two lead Robbers Dog Racing, John Ludden and Bjorn Heyman, by 59 points. Total tally: Precision Motor Racing 165 and Robbers Dog Racing 106. So there's a huge gap there. We invite you to stay with NAGP tonight for complete coverage of round 6 from Monza. Our racing gets underway with 25 minutes of open qualifying, which we're in right now, followed immediately after by the 250-kilometer race. Currently, 5 drivers are solidly in contention for the Driver Championship. Second half of season 27 is shaping up to be an exciting finish. It all begins tonight, so you don't want to miss it, guys. We're going to take you out on track real quick, get some of the action early, qualifying action. As we used to be able to tell how much time we had left. Oh, let me get P Tracker up. Maybe that would help. Oh, what am I? Oh, I know what I'm missing. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. Session info. I'm going to pop that right there. So, just over 20 minutes left of qualifying. As we take a look at Al Merriman, early pole sitter Chris Moses sets a 149.2. John Ludden with a 149.4. Ian Joliceour 149.5. Parsons a 149.6. Maris a 149.7. And on and on and on they go. So Al Merriman yet to turn in a hot lap, and he's coming around the Parabolica and onto the front straight. Al will post up first hot lap of, let's see here, he should be jumping. There's a couple second delay while the times change, unless it was an invalid lap, then we won't see any difference. But while we're waiting for the times to update, why don't we go ahead and take you guys out to the track map. So, the historic Monza, everybody knows this track. 8 turns, 8 corners, very, very high speed track with a couple of kinks in it, as I like to say. Nothing major. These cars can get set up for low downforce, tall gearing, and As long as you got that mechanical suspension dialed into your suspension setup, you'll be okay. Some areas of concern for these drivers where they're going to have to keep it real tonight. Turn 1 at Retifalo. This is going to be subject to the 10% cut rule. Every driver here will be scanned and reviewed for turns for the turn 1 chicane, as well as Roja, which is the turn 3 complex, and Variante Ascari. 4 wheels inside that white line, and these guys are in for it. You know, I think it's X amount of cuts, you get a lap deducted. So these drivers are going to want to keep themselves on track at all costs. So we take it back out on track. We're still on board with Al Merriman, looking for Al's fast time to be posted up. Oh, and he's going to back out of it. Looks like he may have had an invalid lap again. So we're going to pick it up with John Wathen. Wathen is currently sitting 17th with a 156.1. He's going to be looking to improve that time here with just over 17 minutes of qualifying left to go in this session. So your current pole sitter, Chris Moses, out on track just behind his teammate Aaron Parsons. Yep, and we're already experiencing these crazy drops, and that might be because of the high ping rate that I'm getting to Aaron Parsons of 296, 297. As we see, Chris Moses is feverishly working that steering wheel, trying to keep it on track and going in the right direction. So your top 6 separated by less than 1 second, 9/10 of a second separating 1 through 6 right now. 1.1 second down to David Poole, who's currently sitting in 7th. Jack Ivey putting in a good show, currently sitting 9th with a 150.4. Just under 16 minutes left to go. We do have a couple of no-quals tonight. Martin Walters serving a no-qual penalty, Nathan Smith a no-qual penalty, and Luis Nieto also serving a no-qual penalty. These guys are all sitting in the pits. They are not to be a part of the qualifying session, and if I'm not mistaken, Nathan Smith has a no-qual and he has to start from pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. So Ian Joliceour now jumping out to the top spot. Ian Joliceour currently running just behind the PMR boys. Oh, as we see the PMR boys kind of get it wrong through the second turn chicane, and Aaron is going to park it. Carlos de la Torre. As Carlos making his way through the Lesmos. Down the long straight into the Variante Ascari, turns 8, 9, and 10. Typically, these guys are going to want to take it as quick as they can through here. This is where they either make up or lose a lot of time for some of these drivers. De la Torre through Parabolica. And on to the start and finish straight. And he's improved slightly by about 2.5 tenths. So good on you, Carlos. On board with Al as he now leaves the pits. And David Poole just behind him. David Poole currently sitting in 6th with a 149.656. And going back real quick, let's go back to the pit so we can bring up the penalty ballast or the success ballast. So here tonight we see that Chris Moses is carrying 30 kilograms. Aaron Parsons with 40 kilos after last week's win. John Ludden carrying around 60. David Poole 60. Sergio Calderon, because this is his first race here in season 27 driving GT, he has incurred a 40 kilogram penalty ballast. And Trevor Snowden the same. So there you have it. Newcomer David Zahn driving the Corvette C7R. And David currently sitting in 13th, so he's qualified within the points. With a 151.581. Jack Ivy improving up there to 7th with a 149.9. Way to give him heck, Jack. I still think that he can squeeze a few more tenths out of that Nissan. Your current pole seller, Ian Joliceour, a 148.5. Blazing fast around these parts. On board with Jack Ivy. Jack Ivy, who as of late has been showing tremendously good pace around these parts, has substituted a few times in the Monday Night Formula Abarth series and put in a couple of good showings there. So Jack Ivy making leaps and bounds of improvements, and doing so in this league speaks volumes to the talent that he has acquired and some of the skill set that he has gotten to put into his arsenal. Oh, Jack Ivy getting it all wrong into the first chicane. And we now go on board with his teammate, John McIntyre. McIntyre currently sitting at 12th with a 151.157 time. John McIntyre and Jack Ivy, the all black and blue boys. Looking to make a good impression and a good show here at the Monza circuit. And it's you know, it's all about the mystique of Monza. Monza, like Spa, plays no favorites. Either you're gonna get it right or you're gonna get it wrong here. So maximum distance tonight, 43 laps. And like I said, the 10% cut rule is in effect for tonight's race. So these drivers are going to have to make sure that they are on their game tonight. We see that Johnny Mack is going to get a little bit of a tow from that Bentley just in front of him. A slight improvement in time, but not an improvement in position for John McIntyre. Aaron Parsons currently sitting in third, so you got the PMR boys 2 and 3 right now. Ian Joliceour still sitting atop the leaderboard. Al Merriman making an improvement up to 8th place now. 7.5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session here at Monza. For those of you that might be watching the broadcast live, guys, I just want to let you know that I do not have my laptop or another window open, so I cannot see the chat. You guys will have to chat amongst yourselves, but I do not have the chat open, unfortunately. We are reserving all of the bandwidth for the broadcast. So your pole sitter Ian Joliceour, his best time of 1:48.5, hasn't improved on that time as yet since he set the early pole speed, the early pole time. But he is out there giving it his best shot. And that Marshall there looks like David Beckham, yeah, modeling safety Marshall clothing. Brad Maris, who as of last week joined the team Gotta Go By, and Suspect Speed Racing for the moment is defunct. Not closed, but just a little, they're on the sidelines right now as Jeremy Bryant gets some computer issues squared away. A spot did open on the Gotta Go By team, and Brad Maris and Al Merriman now teamed up for the remainder of this season here at the North American Grand Prix. Oh, Al getting it wrong. John Ludden currently sitting in 5th, a 1:49.4 for John Ludden. And Wathen now moves up into 10th with a 150.2, so Wathen making improvements. Bjorn Heyman is currently sitting in 9th, a 150.20. Just ahead of said Mr. Wathen. Omar Gomez sitting back in 19th. Oh, and it looks like we lost Mr. Snowden, who is currently sitting in 20th. Hopefully he will, oh, he's back in. Very good. Chuck Carter substituting for Andrew Werner in the Dodge Viper SRT. Andrew Werner having missed a few weeks. Not exactly sure if Mr. Werner will be back, but Chuck Carter all too happy to go ahead and fill in for the missing Mr. Werner. And Chuck Carter currently sitting in 13th with a 151.203. Johnny Mack gonna bring it in. Johnny Mack still running in 12th. Brad Maris Harris, our resident driving instructor and Monday night color commentator for the Formula Abarth series, along with Al Merriman, currently sitting in 5th, a 149.3, 3 minutes and 45 seconds left of qualifying in this session. And these guys got to put it together real quick if they hope to make any improvements. Jack Ivey up there in 7th. I'm calling out my former broadcasting buddy because, man, he seems to love Monza for some odd reason. Putting in an excellent qualifying effort. So, Brad Maris to the line. Will there be improvement for Brad? Nope, no improvement for Brad. Still with a 149.334. And Iggy Chiordia currently sitting in 16th. His best time of 152.3. Alfonso Alvarez, we haven't touched Alfonso tonight, so Alfonso Alvarez in 11th, the 150.80 as he gets it wrong coming out of the first Lesmo, or the second Lesmo, my bad. David Zahn, 14th, the 151.581. So here you have a gaggle of fast drivers. Starting with David Poole sitting in 6th. Ian Joliceour still up in pole. Aaron Parsons now jumping up to the 2nd spot at 148.9. No improvement for Ian. No improvement for Chris Moses. So we're winding this one down. A lot of the guys, about half the guys, are back in the pits. Oh, Chuck Carter finding the walls. And it looks like we are winding this one down. So almost a 7-second gap from 1st to 20th, from 1st to 19th with your regular qualifiers. Got just under a minute left to go. Iggy Chiordia trying to put in a better time. His current fast lap of 152.320. And Iggy is sitting in 16th. So Iggy Chiordia through the Ascari chicane. Now going to bring it through Parabolica for the last time. And the checkered flag comes out indicating the end of the qualifying session. As these drivers cross the start-finish line, that will be all for them. And no improvement for Iggy. Omar Gomez. Omar actually on the far side of the track. Alfonso Alvarez coming through the start-finish line is going to take the checkered flag. And no improvement for Alfonso. He will start in 11th. Trevor Snowden is perhaps not going to get this one in as he just goes through Lesmo 2. And Sergio Calderon going to come to the line. Sergio looking to improve his time, and unfortunately he does not improve his time and will be starting from 21st. So that's pretty much it. Let's see, Trevor Snowden, he might actually get this one in as he comes through Parabolic, and he's gonna bring it down the front start. Oh, just missed it. So we are lined up on the grid here, and we've got about a 6-minute countdown before the lights come on and go out and the green flag drops. So predictions tonight. Ian Joliceour has been on a tear as of late. I mean, he won Formula Abarth at Montreal. What was that? I'm sorry, last week GT at Montreal. And he's sitting on pole here tonight. And Ian has just been on a virtual tear. Don't know what's going on with this man. He is just, and you know what? I mean, he's having fun. We've heard the post-race interviews here. We know that he's having fun. Just how far it's going to go, we'll have to see. And Ian's doing really well right now, and that's a good thing. That is actually a very, very good thing. So, you know, good on you, Ian, for making the best of it now. Got some guys starting behind me, which is not much of an issue simply because, fortunate for me, Assetto Corsa dumps me into the pits if I do not hit drive before the lights come on. So that's a good thing. But we're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes to give you the rundown of the qualifying order. Okay, guys, and we are back. So let's go ahead and give you the rundown. Tonight, starting from the pole position with a best time here ever, Ian Joliceour. Second is going to go to Chris Moses, 1/2 of PMR. Starting just behind him, Aaron Parsons in third. John Ludden's going to start in fourth. Brad Maris will start in fifth. David Poole in sixth. And perhaps his best showing to date, Jack Ivey will be starting in seventh place. Phenomenal run there, Jack. Really proud of you. Starting just behind Jack is Al Merriman. Bjorn Heyman will start ninth. John Wathen rounds out your top 10. Moving it along, Alfonso Alvarez will start 11th. John McIntyre in 12th. Chuck Carter starts 13th. David Zahn in 14th. Thaniel Smith in 15th. Iggy Chiordia 16. In 17th, Rick Crawford. 18th goes to Carlos De La Torre. And I'm sorry, guys. I think of Ian Joliceour now whenever I say De La Torre. Omar Gomez will start in 19th. Trevor Snowden starts 20th. Sergio Calderon starts in 21st. In 22nd is Nathan Smith. 23rd goes to Luis Nieto. Martin Walters will start in 24th. And I believe that's it. So, alright, we're ready to go. The lights are on. And they're off. Ian Joliceour off with a great start. And quickly goes into defense mode. Coming down that front straightaway. Unbelievable how Ian Joliceour just stole that inside line as Moses gets a little squirrely going into the first chicane. And it's a tight fit for some of these guys getting through there. Oh, Jack Ivey gets dropped back to 11th. As everybody right now just jockeying for position, trying to get through that first turn. And Nathan Smith is now out of the pits. Go get him, Nathan. Go get him. Out front, Ian Joliceour. Through the Lesmos. They go. Ian Joliceour is leading the way. John Ludden currently in third, looking ahead at the top. This is the top three right now, early on. Running in fourth, Al Merriman putting in a good show. Getting all kinds of pressure from Aaron Parsons just behind him. So we are about to come by the start-finish line to complete lap 1. And Ian quickly opening up a little bit of a gap to Chris Moses. Early battle going on for that lead now. Chris Moses closing the gap to Ian Joliceour. As we jump on the bonnet cam with Chris Moses. Down the back stretch into Variante Ascari they go. Ian Joliceour 1, Chris Moses 2. As Chris Moses rides those curbs. That's a risky move, man. Them curbs are known to get your car all sorts of squirrely. That Aston Martin downshifting through the gears and back up through the gears. Ian Joliceour into the defensive position. If they get side by side, Chris Moses might have the advantage. Oh, and Ian Joliceour and Chris Moses both getting it all kinds of wrong. Now it's a drag race through turn 3 and into 4 and 5. Moses gonna tuck in behind Joliceour, letting Ludden know he's closing that door. And a pass took place and we completely missed it. Assetto Corsa couldn't figure out who was where. So your new race leader is now Chris Moses, followed by Ian Joliceour and then John Ludden. Al Merriman running in 4th. 5th goes Aaron Parsons, Alfonso Alvarez in 6th. Maris, Poole, Ivy back up to 9th. After getting knocked down back as far as 11th. John Wathen getting cycled back to 17th spot. Oh, we have a fight going on here between Alvarez and Maris. Alvarez with the advantage. Going into that second chicane. He's going to make a clean pass on Maris. So good on Alfonso for making that clean pass. Stick! Now you got David Poole right behind Brad Maris. Gonna start putting some immense pressure on him. And through Ascari they go. Ivey looking really good out there tonight. Running in 9th. Jack Ivey and John McIntyre, they figured something out with those cars, man, because both of them running extremely well here tonight. John McIntyre in that 10th spot. Bjorn Heyman running back there in 11th. Luis Nieto followed by Iggy Chiordia. Iggy, who also has been showing some really great signs of improvement, driving that Ferrari 458 here tonight, looking real good out there, Iggy. His best lap so far, 155.6. Only looking to get better for the remainder of this race. Chuck Carter currently running in 14th. Nathaniel Smith in 15th. Being hounded by Mr. Wathen. Martin Walter is back there in 17th, and Mr. Crawford running 18th. Carlos De La Torre in 19th. Omar Gomez in 20th. Nathan Smith in 21st, and David Zahn 22nd. Mr. Snowden back in 23rd. So now the one who's opening up a gap to second place, Chris Moses, gap of about 2 seconds. And increasing. In the cockpit with Jack Ivey, trailing David Poole. And so looks like we've got a 4-way battle going on for that 6th spot. Brad Maris all over Alfonso's tail right now, looking to see if he might get by him some way, somehow. Alfonso having made a clean pass on Maris just 1 lap ago. How do you do, Mr. Beckham? So we have this gaggle of cars right now jockeying for position. Now they're not extremely close, like right on top of each other, but they're close enough to be within striking distance should one of the drivers make some sort of a mistake, something that they don't want to do, like drifting out too wide, going through Parabolica into the 1st and 2nd set of chicanes. You get it all wrong through over those curbs. Those curbs will bounce your car around. You can lose position that way, end up in the grass or the kitty litter. So you certainly want to be as fast as you can. However, you want to make calculated moves and take only calculated risks as you make your way around Monza. Like I said, Monza plays no favorites to no one. Either you get it right or you get it wrong. It should be said that either you get it right or you go home. Bit of a battle back here going on for 19th between De La Torre and Wathen. Wathen, who started in P10, not exactly sure what happened. He got cycled all the way back to 19th. So lights up the tires just a little too early coming out of that first turn 1 and 2 chicane complex. Trying to gain traction and make inroads to Carlos De La Torre so they can battle for position. Got to keep those laps clean, gentlemen. Keep them clean. Nathan Smith currently running in 20th. Omar Gomez, David Zahn, and Snowden. So your leaders out front right now. Chris Moses followed by Ian Joliceour in 2nd. And Al Merriman now going to get by John Ludden for that 3rd spot. So Al now making moves of his own. followed closely by John Ludden. Aaron Parsons, Alfonso Alvarez, and Brad Maris now having one heck of a battle going on. Let's jump on board with Brad as he trails Alfonso Alvarez. You know, you got to give credit where credit is due, guys, because these drivers, they're out here week after week putting forth a good show. We bring it to you live, and then there's always the rebroadcast. Oh, as Brad Maris has to check up on the brakes as Alfonso Alvarez goes deep into the braking zone, but then gets heavy on the brakes, has to slow it down. You know, these guys are out here week after week. They put on a good show. They love the competition. I always say that the cars are virtual, the tracks are virtual, but the competition 100% real. This is akin to the real thing, what happens out there on the track. The only thing is that millions of dollars are not at stake, thankfully. But you know, the guys, the administrators, Al, Chris, and Brad, and all those guys, they put together a good league. It's a great place to come and hang out on Mondays and Thursdays. You know, we bring you the live broadcasts every week as often as we can to give you all that action that goes on. And I gotta tell you that, you know, if you're watching this as David Poole tries to pull alongside Brad Maris as they go into Parabolica, now Brad's gonna have to keep it wide. Oh, and they touch fenders, but that's about all. Just behind them, Jack Ivey saying, go ahead, fellas, I'm right here behind you. I'll capitalize if you make that mistake. Jack Ivey with the long legs on that Nissan. Gonna pull alongside David Poole and Brad Maris all in one swoop. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, Jack is gonna back out of it going into turn one, but he is going to get that pass done on David Poole. So, getting back to what I was saying, week after week, these guys come out here. Al and the administrative staff, they put on, you know, they put together a really good league, guys. We're structured, we have rules. The rules are fair for everybody. It's not a perfect league by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, and the work that these admins do at times are akin to a full-time job. So, kudos to them. Little housekeeping, you know, if you're watching this and you like sim racing, come and join us. We've got some room at some tracks on Mondays. The Thursday night league can always use some drivers, substitute or independents right now, as we are just past the halfway point. This is now round number 6, so we've got 4 more rounds to go to determine both the driver championship, team championship, as well as the competition index. You know, we don't charge to race, guys. You gotta buy the sim, you gotta buy the linear peripherals, which is essentially a steering wheel and pedals, to race with us, but we don't charge you to race with us. And this is a great league to come and check us out if you want. Week after week, if you watch the broadcast, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. David Poole gonna make that pass back on Jack Ivey. As they go through Parabolica, David Poole almost taking it a little bit too wide, but I believe that Jack Ivey perhaps is going to get right back by him because that Nissan could just out-accelerate that Viper down that straight. Poole going to tuck in behind Ivey, trying to get some toe, but I don't think it's going to work this time coming into the turns 1 and 2 chicane. You know, it does cost some money for us to run the league. It's something to the tune of about $300 a month. We are donation supported. We are donor supported, donation driven, if you will. If you don't join us, but you like what you see, you think it's a worthwhile cause for these gentlemen that come out here and race week after week and put on a good show and just, you know, this is a great place to hang out, then why don't you go ahead and make your donation. Head on over to NorthAmericanGP.com. That's NorthAmericanGP.com. All the information is right there on the homepage. Another way you can help us out, we sell t-shirts with our logo on it. Black t-shirts, top quality. I have one. I encourage you to buy one. It's $20 shipped anywhere in the world. You can order it right from the main website on the homepage. You'll see it on the right-hand side. It's a t-shirt ad. It's got the team logo. I believe Al's got some that are left. And they're 20 bucks a pop, guys. It's a way of helping us out. So, you know, it's another way of contributing, and you actually get something for the money that you're paying. We don't make anything on the t-shirts. It's not for profit. It's actually to help the league. So, you know what? If you're watching, you want to come out and race with us. If not, then support us. So, back out to the action on track. I'm going to take it up to your race leaders, see what they're doing. So, nothing much has changed out front. Chris Moses followed closely by Ian Joliceour. They've kind of torn away a little bit from Al Merriman, who's comfortably out in third, followed by John Ludden in fourth. Aaron Parsons trying to make up some time in fifth, but doesn't seem to be working out all that well here at this high-speed Cathedral of Speed. Alfonso Alvarez making some improvement. Brad Maris now looking to regain his position that Alfonso Alvarez took away from him just a few laps ago. Now, Brad Maris, a very calculated driver. This is a guy that has a strategy for everything. He doesn't just turn on the car, go out there and race on a whim. This is a guy that strategizes his stints, his pit stops, fuel usage, tire wear. You know, he knows what's going on in the cockpit. He's a very calculating driver. You won't see him make many mistakes. Very rare, actually. And like I said, he's our resident driving instructor. Has helped a lot of the guys here in the league become better virtual racers. And we've seen the fruits of that labor of love that this man puts forth after every season, where he takes just a bunch of us guys, we go online, and he helps us to better understand what we are doing in the sim, how the cars are functioning underneath us, what to look for, how to better our driving lines through circuits, all kinds of stuff to set up help as well. This guy does it all, and he's, like I said, he's very calculating in his way of driving, which is a benefit to us all. So Brad, thanks for the work that you do in the driving school as well as on the Monday night broadcast. David Poole back in 8th and Jack Ivey still in 9th. They were battling it out for a little while there. Jack Ivey with the longer legs on that Nissan GT-R. So Jack backs it down just a little bit as David Poole now pulls a little gap on Jack. John McIntyre rounding out the top 10, running comfortably right now. Nobody challenging for that spot. Bjorn Heyman currently in 11th, followed by Luis Nieto in 12th. Martin Walters making his way up to 13th. Chuck Carter now drops a couple positions back to 15th. Iggy Chiordia up in 14th. John Wathen moves up a spot to 18th. Rick Crawford in 19th. I'm sorry, 17th. Nathaniel Smith in 18th. Carlos de la Torre in 19th. Nathan Smith in 20th. Omar Gomez, David Zahn, and Trevor Snowden. So we take it on board with Ian Joliceour, your second place driver, following Mr. Chris Moses around. Now, I gotta tell you that if anybody has the capability of winning here in Monza, it's Chris Moses. Knows this track fairly well. Unable to close the gap to Moses. So everybody right now is pretty well spaced out. So right now the closest battle between Brad Maris and Alfonso Alvarez. Morris having a slight look inside. He's not going to get it done just yet. So we'll cycle back through the field as Luis Nieto and Bjorn Heyman having a battle of their own right now. Bjorn having taken a look on the inside is not going to get the pass done this time around. Once again, that pressure on Alfonso Alvarez as they come into the second chicane. Brad gonna try and get alongside of him on the outside. Let's see how this goes down. Oh, and they barely touch as Alfonso puts his nose underneath Brad Maris's rear bumper there, but they stayed clean, so good racing, guys. Go ahead and put on that good show for the viewers. Sorry if I lack enthusiasm, guys. Just a little bit tired here tonight. It's 10 o'clock Eastern U.S. time where I'm at. I kind of feel like those golf announcers like I seeing the huge octopus just kind of emerges from the golf pond. Lack of enthusiasm. So Brad Maris putting that move back on Alfonso Alvarez. They go through Parabolica. So Trevor Snowden just ahead. Brad Maris having to contend with lap traffic. Sometimes getting around a back marker can be a risky move, but Brad Maris is going to try and take advantage and get some pull from Snowden's Bentley to pull away from Alvarez. Now opens up a slight gap. So Ian Joliceour is now back up front. Chris Moses gets cycled back to fourth. He hasn't pitted yet, so my guess is that Chris Moses may have had an off. Either that or timing and scoring got screwy. I doubt it was the timing and scoring. So my guess is that Chris Moses might have had a moment and relinquished that lead back to Ian Joliceour, the pole sitter for this event. So that'll cycle Al Merriman up to second spot. John Ludden third. And then the PMR boys of Chris Moses and Aaron Parsons fourth and fifth respectively. course, locking up those tires going into that first chicane complex. Not a good thing. You want to flat spot those tires. You want to be able to do a full first stint and still have your tires relatively intact by the end of that first stint. So, David Poole still back in 8th, followed by Jack Ivey in 9th. And John McIntyre rounding out your top 10. All black and blue racing. Sorry guys, gotta adjust my headset here a second, so you might hear some moving around. Whoa! Trevor Snowden lighting up those rear tires. Coming out of Lesmo 1. So now we've got this battle going on for 13th between Wathen and Carter. Now these guys typically mix it up in the Monday Night League at times. These two typically run comparative lap times to each other. Back in 16th, Crawford in 17th. Daniel Smith in 18th. De La Torre running in 19th. Nathan Smith in 20th. David Zahn in 21st. Omar Gomez 22nd. And Trevor Snowden is currently running in 23rd. He's a lap down. We see that Nathan Smith has already taken his pit. So max laps, I believe I said, was, let's find out here again. Max lap distance is 43 laps here tonight, so that's early for the pit, considering that you're talking 43 laps. So I would venture to say that most of these drivers, if anything, will start coming in. We'll see them start to come in around lap 20. So around lap 20, I think, is where the pit window for most of these drivers is going to open. Of course, we'll see all the varied pit strategies here tonight. Some drivers will opt to take it longer into the first stint, depending on tire selection and tire wear. Some of the guys will split it right down the middle and go 50-50. So you'll see them hitting on about lap 21, 22. And then you got the guys who do the reverse strategy, go a longer first stint and a shorter second stint, if they can afford it on this track. But you got to remember that these cars, for the most part, have that throttle pegged. So not an easy thing to conserve too much fuel around here. Brad Maris up in 6th. 7th to Alfonso Alvarez. 8th to David Poole. Jack Ivey, unbelievable, running within the top 10 here tonight, putting in a really, really good show. Man, whoever set that car up for him, kudos to them, because they should have a race car engineering degree, because Jack's got that thing dialed in. Just stayed constant there, constant in 9th place. So now David Poole going to start putting some pressure on Alfonso Alvarez, as we saw Alvarez go red there for a moment. On board with David parabolica. It is so crucial to get this turn right. And the ironic thing is that you take 3 or 4 different drivers and you get 3 or 4 different lines coming through the parabolica. Some of the guys go wide, narrow, wide. Some of the guys go wide and stay wide and then come narrow out of that last turn. And some will actually come in narrow and wide. I think that made sense. So David Poole putting the moves on De La Torre. De La Torre now drops back to 8th place. Jack Ivey still in 9th, and Alvarez is not going away that easy. Advantage Alvarez coming through that sweeper as he's on the inside, but you know what? It is all about Varianta de la Rocha. And these guys go, wow, side by side through De La Rocha, which is a risky move. And like I said, I spoke a little bit about calculated risks. You got to calculate the risks that you're willing to take without taking out the guy that you're racing with, and without taking yourself out. You don't want to end up in a wall somewhere. It sucks to have your night ruined by that, you know, because maybe you took too much of an aggressive move, dive bomb, but you know, Alvarez did none of that. These guys were running side by side, looked like they went in. You know, a little fender bump might happen. That's just the way it is. Monza is a very narrow circuit. It's not wide by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. So it takes skill for these drivers to run side by side here at the Monza circuit. So now Alvarez is going to come under some light pressure from Jack Ivey running in 9th spot. And Jack Ivey into the pits. So Ivey into the pits, drops back into 10th. Will he get out in time? Nope, he's going to fall to Walters and Nieto and even Heyman, if Heyman does not come in. So it's taking Jack a little while to get service here. I don't think he's got damage, or at least I hope he didn't have damage. And he is off, so looks like it was about right for some fuel and tires. So Jack Ivey now going to cycle back out in 15th. And now he's got to go about the business of warming those tires up. New tire model. You know, it actually takes, guys, a few laps to get those things up to temperature. Just like in the real world. Other sims, you know, after the first warm-up lap, that's it. Your tires are at optimal temperature. Not so with the new 64-bit build of Assetto Corsa, where now, you know what? You got to get 2 to 3 laps under your belt before those tires start kicking in. The pressures get up to optimal and the temperatures are optimal. So Jack Ivey right now on some cold tires. Daniel Smith currently running in 18th. The Lamborghini Huracan. I really like the way that this car looks. I actually like Kuno's version better. To me, the Kuno's version is a bit more refined than this model that we have in the car pack. So, you know, who's to say we might see the Kuno's version in our car pack come next season. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. All right, admins. So your running order, Ian Joliceour out in front, 20 laps down, working on lap number 21 now. We've had only Jack Ivey and Nathan Smith that have pitted. Your race leader decides to do here. Will he bring it into the pits? He's going to stay out. And Joliceour into the pits. Let's see what Al's going to decide to do. Will Al come? Al's into the pits? No. Oh, he tries to sell Ludding on a dummy. Cannot get it done. Wow, that was pretty good, Al. I like that one. Tried to sell John Ludding a dummy, but it just didn't get done. Oh, as Al locks up all 4 tires, Ludding looking to get alongside of him, and Al having to fight him off now for sure. He's got 4 flat spotted tires. Don't think he'll be selling anyone any dummies come the next time around. I think he's gonna dip into the pits. But I gotta tell you, Al, that was good. That was good. So, that is for position. That is actually for the lead right now. We'll have to see how this one plays out as they... That was what? That was, De La Rosa that they just went through. Now they're going through the Lesmos. And so we're going to have to see what Al's going to do come this next lap. Closest battle right now on track. Martin Walters and Luis Nieto for 12th. This battle right here is a little bit further up. We're going to keep it right here. Step back up. How do you do? So they come down La Recta Parabólica. That is the Parabolica straight. So Joliceour has pitted. Chris Moses has pitted. And Al and Ludding now dipping into the pits. Not good. So Al perhaps was looking for a little bit of relief from Ludding being on his tail. So these guys are now cycling through their pit rotations. Aaron Parsons comes in and Brad Maris also in. David Poole now going to take the virtual lead of this race. John McIntyre comes in, brings it in. So Ian Joliceour currently running in 7th, now coming down the front start-finish stretch. Will he actually take the lead? And he gets by Merriman. So Joliceour up into 2nd now. The gap between Poole and Joliceour, 26 seconds. In order for David Poole to get out and keep the lead, he'd have to double stint those tires. I don't think he can do so simply because he was running hard in that first stint. And he's probably going to have to come in for fuel and rubber. And we're going to go ahead and find David Poole. David Poole into the Ascari chicane. Turns 8, 9, and 10. We're going to have to see, will David Poole come into the pits this lap? We've got 22 down. They're working on 23 right now. Down, 21 to go. This would be an opportune time for David Poole to go ahead and bring it in, but he's going to stay out one more lap. And the gap now starting to fall about 7/10 of a second over the course of the last lap. So David Poole, your current virtual race leader, will have to come in within the next lap or so. Get fuel. We don't know what the tire strategy is going to be. I know that David Poole has been itching for a win here at NAGP Thursday nights. Will tonight be the night? We're not exactly sure. We're gonna have to. You're just gonna have to stay tuned and see, because I know that I am going to stay tuned and see. But we're gonna cycle back now to second place. Ian Joliceour. Ian just passed the Retifilo chicane, which is turns 1 and 2, followed by Al Merriman and then John Ludden. So these two virtually represent you. I mean, these three virtually represent your top three. However, David Poole still out in front. As he comes to the end of Sarajevo and into Ascari. Locking up those rear tires, man. Them tires got to be a little wasted. David Poole through Parabolica. Will your race leader pit, or is he going to stay out just one more lap? 23 down in the books, and David Poole once again will stay out a long first stint. That time to second place, Ian Joliceour now dropped by an entire 1.5 seconds. So we know that David Poole's tires are starting to wear on him. Just about every corner he's starting to lock him up, and that's not a good sign because he's scrubbing off way too much speed. Better to get in now, get your fuel and rubber, because you know you're not going to double stint those tires, and you know, hash it out towards the end. Try, you know, come in and get a perfect pit stop. So we're on board with your race leader right now. No severe close battles out on track. Chris Moses with the lap record of this race session so far, 151.551. He's currently in 5th. So I suspect David Poole will be into the pits this time around to get some fresh rubber and some fuel, as that gap to second place Ian Joliceour continues to fall. And Poole will now come into the pits. Okay, so Poole is in the pits, and the gap is now decreasing to Ian Joliceour, who I believe now is rounding. Yes, he is. He's rounding. Yep, rounding Parabolica, so he will take the lead back from David Poole. That'll cycle Al up into second, Ludden into third, and Poole is off, and he will come out behind Chris Moses. Brad Maris gets by. Where's Bjorn? No, Bjorn will not. So Bjorn was in the pits, so David Poole slots back in to the 6th spot. Brad Maris actually ahead of him right now. Aaron Parsons running in 7th. Now remember, Aaron Parsons carrying some weight. Not something you want to do here at Monza. And it's not penalty ballast that he's carrying, it's success ballast. But certainly not something that you want to carry around this Monza circuit, because ballast is just so detrimental to the performance of these cars, because while they may be able to pick up some really good straight line speed, especially in the draft, the corners that, or the kinks as I call them, in this circuit require that you have some sort of downforce built into the body of the car. Battle going on here for second between P2 and P3. Looking at Al Merriman, just behind him, John Ludden, that Mercedes-Benz SLS, looking to get by. Will he attempt the move? Nope, not this time around. He's going to back out of it slightly. Battle going on for that 6th spot between David Poole running in 6th, Aaron Parsons in 7th. Aaron Parsons wasn't off to a fantastic start here at this race, however, he has... Oh! As Aaron nearly gets it wrong and saves it. Ooh, good save, Aaron. Now, that's a pro driver. So 26 down, and they're working on 27 of 43. The race has been running for just a little over 51 minutes. Well, the whole session has been, no, the race session has been running for a little over 51 minutes. So we're about halfway done. Perhaps a few minutes longer, but yeah. Jack Ivey running in 9th, comfortably in 9th. Good show, Jack. Really good show. Lots to be proud of there. Giving you lots of love tonight, man, for the effort that you're putting in. Oh, we see somebody gets it wrong way back where... It was David Zahn that got it wrong. Coming out of the Variante Ascari. It looks like he may have found the fence, the wall. John Wathen currently running in 12th. Martin Walters getting it wrong through Parabolica. Not some place you want to get things wrong. So Trevor Snowden, and let's take a look here. Carlos de la Torre is actually about to put Trevor Snowden down a lap. So your race leader, Ian Joliceour, followed by Al Merriman, followed by... Oh boy, and it looks like we got one of the Astons that got it wrong coming through. The Variante Ascari. Yeah, looks like it may have been Chris Moses, some contact with one of the Lambos. Oh man, that's heartbreaking because man, if he's got damage to that car, that's just going to be very detrimental. So we're on board right now with Aaron Parsons' teammate to Chris Moses, Team PMR Precision Racing. Back up on Daniel Smith. Daniel's going to have to give him some room. I'm sure that he sees those blue lights. I'm not sure if Daniel's trying to drag race or just give these guys some room. They're putting you a lap down, guy. Parsons in 7th. Alfonso Alvarez in 8th. Jack Ivey 9th. John McIntyre in 10th. Luis Nieto in 11th. Laps left to go after this one gets completed. When that ticker flips over to 31, 13 laps left to go. Moves a few positions back to 15th after the pit rotation. So the race leader still Ian Joliceour, followed by Al Merriman, followed by John Hutton. That's your top 3 right now. They're running fairly close together, not overly so, but well enough. So Brad Maris is running in 4th. After having been just outside the top 5 for much of his first stint. Looks like Brad had a fairly decent strategy coming into tonight's race on when to pit, because it got him back out in 4th. However, his teammate Chris Moses, after having a tangle in the Ascari curves, gets cycled back to 6th. Gap from Joliceour to Merriman, 5.1 seconds. So unless these guys start pushing beyond the envelope of that car and making inroads, they're essentially gifting a victory over to Ian as long as he can keep it clean. consecutive back-to-back win. If Ian can hold it together for the next 12 laps, he will be the first driver this season to have won more than one race. To win back-to-back races. Driving one of the newer McLarens in our car pack this season. Spot. Al dropping down to third now. Sorry that we didn't catch that pass. Would have loved to. We only got one cameraman and one announcer. If you guys like what you're seeing and think that you have what it takes to be a color commentator on our broadcasts, please reach out to me. My forum username at North American GP is KRODRIG1. That's KRODRIG1. You can either reach out to myself, Al Merriman, or any one of the admins if you are interested in co-hosting one of these race events or a series of race events. So there you have it. Gotta go by, currently running in third and fourth, and that's gotta greatly help the team championship out a bit. Maris now starting to make some progress and some inroads to Al Merriman teammates for the Thursday night Assetto Corsa League. Giordia running at the last points paying position in 16th. David Poole just ahead of him in 5th. Chris Moses runs in 6th. Right now pretty much running comfortably because real heavy battles out there on the track right now. We're going to catch up with the race leading to the followed by Ludden and then Merriman. So Al putting in a great show. David Poole still with the fastest lap of the race, 151.487. So 34 down, working on lap 35. So we are less than 10 to go. So going to be roughly a little under 20 minutes left of racing. Ian Joliceour looking really good out there. Ludden in 2nd, Merriman in 3rd, and Maris in 4th. Eminem is running 3rd and 4th. David Poole back in 5th, followed by Chris Moses. Then here, wait a minute. Yeah, Chris Moses and then Aaron Parsons. And Alfonso Alvarez and Jack Ivory. These guys have been kind of going at it a little bit here for a while before the pit stop rotations. It seems they just picked up where they left off at. So Jack Ivey putting some slight pressure on Alfonso Alvarez. Got ourselves quite the battle going on. Al Merriman, John Ludden, Al getting back around John. And let's see, that's Chuck Carter looking ahead. And behind Chuck has got to be Brad Maris working around here somewhere. Just ahead of Chuck, these guys are battling for 2nd spot. They're about to complete lap number 36. Chuck gonna let Brad Maris through. We're gonna jump on board with Brad because now the fight is being taken to Al for second place. And wondering what might be going through Brad's mind right now. Does he play spoiler? Does he run interference? Very hard to do when these drivers are hauling the mail the way they are here tonight. On board with Ludden. Al getting the pass done on Ludden some corners ago, and now that fight is on. Alfonso Alvarez coming under immense pressure from Jack Ivey back there for 8th place. We're going to keep it right here though, guys. This is for P2. And this does not diminish the fact that guys are battling for position other parts of this track. They are just as important. The only unfortunate thing is I am one cameraman. Ludden taking a little wide there and grabbing some of the grass. Gap now about 1 second to Al Merriman from John Ludden's position. So through the parabolic they go. Ian Joliceour starting to check out and open that gap. 6.2 seconds. Mercedes has the legs to contend with that Porsche. Opting for the tight line. All the way through Biasone. Fabiaço. These two through the Lesmos now onto Curva del Serraglio. Serraglio, whatever that means. Complete 38 of 43. There will be 5 laps to go at the conclusion of this circuit that they are currently on right now. Getting alongside Al Merriman, and it doesn't look like he's going to get it done this time around. Oh, Al, a little slow out of that chicane. Ludden having to check up just a little bit, and there's Brad Maris just behind Ludden. So Ludden right now in a gotta go buy sandwich. Merriman out front, Brad Maris in the rear, and Ludden stuck in the middle of these two guys. Cycle back just a little bit further. Chris Moses getting the exit of that turn on. This little battle going on right here between Ivy and Alfonso Alvarez. Now Ivy's still running 9th, Alfonso in 8th. So positions have not changed. Just goes to show that consistency does pay off, guys. Ooh, one of the Ferraris nearly losing their tail end. Here, Parsons running in 7th. Chris Moses in 6th. Taking a look again on the end. Oh, Al's going to get it all kinds of wrong there. Al going to get... Oh, and here we go. Sandwich time. Closing laps. 3 laps to go. Ludden back up in 2nd. Maris now in 3rd. Maris going to look to capitalize. Merriman dropping back to 4th. After he gets it wrong going into the first set of chicane. So now Brad Maris puts the move on Ludden. Now Brad is going to have to fight real hard. Oh, looks like Al got it wrong. Al takes it off track, so Al's now out of the running for that spot. But so Ludden is right behind Maris. Maris is going to have to fight really hard to keep Ludden behind them because that Mercedes looks like it's got a little bit of pace on those Porsche cars, or the Darches, if you will. Ludden having to check up. Gives Maris some breathing room by about 2 seconds. Nope, that's going to increase. 2.5 seconds between Ludden and Maris now. Al Merriman has dropped back another 7 seconds beyond that. Laps complete. 3 to go. 3 full laps to go. So now, cycle back a little bit. And you got Chuck Carter, who's a lap down. And now Al Merriman coming under pressure from David Poole. This is for P4. Merriman is in 4th. Poole is in 5th. They got Chuck Carter just ahead, who is subbing for Andrew Werner. So now David Poole looking to put that brand. David Poole nearly had an opportunity to capitalize about a lap ago, but Al Merriman got it together, got it off the side of the track and back on to the pavement to keep it going. But here they're faced with a unique situation, or at least Al is. Andrew Werner, one half of 05 Motorsport, just ahead of him. David Poole, the other half of 05 Motorsport, just behind them. So Al right now squeezed within the proverbial Viper sandwich. And doesn't look like he's got any escape right now. Ian Joliceour enjoying a 7.5 second gap to 2nd place Brad Maris. Doesn't look like that gap is going to dwindle any as we are here in the closing laps. And boy, oh boy, wouldn't it be something, Ian Joliceour taking back-to-back wins for the first time out of anybody in season 27. If you recall, Ian Joliceour won last week in Montreal. And it looks like he is poised to bring it home one more time in that first place spot. Monday night Formula Abarth at Montreal, and poised to win this week, Thursday night, here at Monza. Just about a lap and a half left to go. Race leader Ian Joliceour on the final lap gets a squirrely coming out of that second chicane, but gets it right back on track quickly. You don't want to give up too much time. Brad having closed the gap to about 5 seconds, from 7.5 seconds to 5 seconds. No doubt that BMW Alpina suffering some tire degradation. Got to do is just keep it clean, and he is home free. Last time through the parabolical curve for Ian Joliceour as he brings it around, easing off just a little bit, giving the flashing lights to the fans as he comes around that last turn, and he is going to go ahead and bring home the W. And looks like he is done. Brad Maris will finish in second, John Ludd in third. Al Merriman will bring it home in fourth, David Poole in fifth. Chris Moses in sixth. Aaron Parsons in seventh. Alfonso Alvarez will bring home eighth place. Jack Ivey will bring it home in ninth, followed by Johnny McIntyre. The all black and blue. Oh, and it looks like Ivey is out of fuel. Ivey out of fuel, having to get a push from his teammate. And they will, they'll finish just like that. So we're going to go ahead and get the heck on out of here, and we are going to go and grab ourselves Mr. Ian Joliceour real quick and see what he is up to. Find out what the heck was going on. Ian Joliceour, Ken up in the broadcast booth. Do you copy?
I do. How you doing, Kenny?
I am doing well, man. Well, I just witnessed a fantastic run, man. You are on a tear lately. Last week, Monday night at Montreal, you locked down Formula Abarth, and here at Monza tonight, looks like you got it together again. I mean, walk me through it, buddy. What were you thinking? What was your strategy? And did you actually feel you had a chance coming into tonight?
Honestly, I thought maybe top 10 was the goal tonight. Keep it in with Ludden and Jack and Chris and Aaron and all those guys in those really fast cars. But I kind of lucked into that one. A couple mistakes by Moses and some mistakes by Ludden there when he was trying to pass me on the outside. I just kind of walked into that. That was a good, easy kind of cruising drive. Happy with that.
Yeah. Now, pit strategy. So you just about split it down the middle, right?
I just about did, but I don't want to give away all my secrets here, so To be, until next time, buddy.
To be continued. You know, I'm going to keep on asking, but big congratulations to you, Ian. So, looks like you're on a tear. You had a little bit of a dry spell there without a win, but it looks like you're back on track and you're giving these guys hell. So, these boys are going to try and figure out what you're doing for sure. You know what? You got to keep it under wraps for a little while and enjoy it while you can.
You're exactly right. Thanks very much, Ken.
Hey, go ahead and enjoy the celebration with your boys. I'll go ahead and drop you back down into the Saturday channel. And again, congrats to you and the team.
Thanks, pal.
All right, so there you have it. Ian Joliceour, your race winner tonight here at Monza. And it was no doubt a fantastic run for Ian. Like he said, some mistakes from some of the front runners that occurred, and so that's the way it happens. But good on Ian, and a strong finish for him. And that's going to do it for us here from Monza tonight. Don't forget that we are coming to you live on Monday night with the Formula Abarth cars, 9 p.m. Eastern. Join Al and Brad in the broadcast. They will bring it to you live. That's Monday, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And for the North American Grand Prix, I'm Ken Rodriguez, and we are out of here. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week.